Hi, my name is Cheryl Tondrow, and welcome to Aphasia Moments, a video podcast where I share the good, the bad, and the somewhat funny aspects of living with a language disorder, aphasia, and a speech disorder called apraxia of speech and dyslexia. I hope that by sharing my story and some experiences, that people will know that there's always hope to live our very best life, even with these communication challenges. Today, I'd like to talk about how being self-conscious affects us. Maybe how it affects our self-esteem and how that affects our recovery and how it affects our being able to live well with these challenges, these communication challenges. So, first of all, because I'm a Google queen, I had to look up the definition of self conscious. Of course, it's being nervous or uncomfortable because you are worried about what other people think about you or your actions. And who hasn't been self conscious at one point of their lives? Think about when you have a blemish or a pimple, and you're convinced that everybody in the world is looking right at this pimple when you're talking to them. Imagine that you now have a communication disorder and you don't speak the way you want to, the way you used to be able to communicate with people. Um, this topic came up in my Facebook group, Living Will with Aphasia, Apraxia, and Dysarthria, a few weeks ago. I asked for challenges that everybody was experiencing at the time, and one of our members said that she was self-conscious about the way she speaks and thinks that the way she speaks makes people think that she's unintelligent. That's one of the worries that we have when we can't express how we feel or what we want, and it embarrasses us or frustrates us. And we know that we are still capable, and for the most part, aphasia and definitely speech disorders have nothing to do with the intelligence. The brain is just not able to work the way it did for the communication part. So I've been thinking about this, and in the meantime, I had of course, I had a coleslaw on my lip, and I'm self-conscious about the way I talk anyway, the way my mouth moves and or doesn't move. And I remember that when I was in speech therapy at the beginning, one of the strategies my SLP thought about was to take a mirror and put it in front of me and have me talk to the mirror. Of course, that's a great technique for seeing how your mouth is moving because the apraxia speech, there's a disconnect between what you want to say, you know what you want to say, but by the time it gets to your lips, tongue, teeth, all the parts of your anatomy that makes it possible to speak just doesn't always work well. Aphasia, apraxia speech is a motor planning disorder. And as I understand it, it's that, in my case, when I try to say a word, sometimes, even though I know it starts with a D, like dog, the G comes out first. So it sounds like ducks. It's not clear. It makes communication sometimes very dysfunctional. So I think being self-conscious can impede our progress, our recovery, if you want to say it that way, and makes it, if you're self-conscious about the way you're talking, you're thinking people are looking at you funny. Not me. I can only speak about me. I find that I retreat a lot. I don't say what I want to say because it's too difficult to get everything out that I want to. But B, in order to say it clearly and to make sure that people understand me, I get self-conscious, if that makes any sense. So I just wanted to address that. I wanted to address the topic to see if anybody else thinks about it, is concerned about it, has strategies for dealing with it. I assume that in the population, there are people who don't care as much about what people think, or they're not self-conscious a lot. Then there are some people who are very self-conscious of the way they talk. I think for me, I would never have done this podcast 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. It's only this year that I feel confident that being able to document how I talk can be helpful for other people. And I also want to have a documentation of how I am progressing. I'm assuming that next year, when I do this, I'll be different. I'll be more composed, or I'll speak better. That's what that is my hope. Of course, there's always hope to get better and better. And I would welcome anybody's thoughts on this subject. I think it's a really interesting subject and coordinates or jives with my really big passion is to make sure people are looking at improving, if they have to, their self-esteem. I think that's one of the major hurdles we face sometimes when we have a stroke or of a trauma, and not be able to talk the way we want to. And if we have low self-esteem, sometimes that inhibits us from doing the things we want to do, or doing things we have to do in order to speak better and better and better. sometimes we give up, and I don't want anybody to give up. I hope this helps a little bit. As we know, as I say every time I speak to you, there are challenges. All of us have challenges in life. Who goes through life without any challenges? We're not the only ones, the people who have aphasia, aphasia, and dysarthria. But I hope that you see these challenges do not have to limit your ability to live your very best life. I hope you'll join me next time. Please consider subscribing to this channel, Aphasia Moments, so you can see the next videos. I hope you have a wonderful day. Until next time, goodbye.